And all right, we're live. Hey, what's up, my comic book creeps? This is your boy J Rock. Today, I'm here with my guest Millie Akers. Um, Today we'll be talking about end of the year wrap up of 2015, the good, the bad, and the unexpected. As far as our comic book,
Oh, I think you need to mute the video.
yeah, hold up. My bad. Let me fix this real quick.
I do that all the time.
I left another page up and I didn't realize I still had my other thing open. Okay, let's start with your pleasant surprises of 2015. We'll go by different topics. We'll start with comics. What reads did you have that maybe you never heard of and you were like pleasantly surprised, ended up following it or becoming a fan of it?
Yeah. I think the one that was a big one for me was 8. E-I, the number 8, and then HT from Dark Horse. It was a Raphael Albuquerque book, and I hadn't heard anything about it until I went into the store and saw the first issue, and it just looked really, really interesting. And I picked it up, and it's probably like my favorite series of the year. I thought it was really, really fantastic. I loved it, the story and the art and the coloring, especially because it was dealing with like time jumps and stuff. Like the future was a different color, and the past was a different color, and the present was even a different color, and it was so awesome. And I heard it's coming back. I think I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, so was it like a miniseries or is it an ongoing?
Yeah, it was, I think, a 5-issue miniseries. I have the first issue right here. Go. It's a Raphael Albuquerque and Mike Johnson comic. By Dark Horse. It was really good. And yeah, it was a 5-issue miniseries, I believe. But I think they're bringing it back for maybe another miniseries because the ending was a little bit open-ended, so they could do more with
I
it.
think that went in a lot of people's videos. A lot of people were
Yeah.
reading that. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely was a big hit. I like that concept of like different time zones use different color palettes or a different artist.
Hmm.
So that way, I like when they do that. It gives it a different feel that you're in a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did that with the Angela title, the Asgard's Assassin. When she's talking about the past or memories, it would be a different artist. It's like completely different. It's like kind of like more of a paint pastel type thing. And then when it's back to the regular current time, it's a regular comic book art. So I like how you would know when it's on a different time without it having to explain it just by the feel of it, by the art.
Yeah. Yeah, I love when they do that. I think it makes time traveling in comics a lot easier
Yeah,
to
I agree.
understand. Because I know, like, in movies, a lot of times when they, like, go to the past or they show the past, like, they kind of do, like, a blur effect on, like, the movies and stuff. So I like that they're able to kind of do their own thing with that in comics, just kind of change up the art or the coloring or whatever. So,
Yeah, I like
yeah.
that concept as well. Like in some movies, they go black and white when it's the past,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
sometimes in shows, you will know it's the past because they'll use a younger actor, so you know,
Yeah.
like, all right, it's a different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll know like that.
So
Um,
that one was definitely a really good one for me. And then the other two that were really big surprises for me, one of them was Groot, which was just 6 issues. It was going until Secret Wars, and then it kind of ended in the middle of Secret Wars going on. But it was really, really good. And I mean, I was expecting it to be like pretty good, like a kind of lighthearted, fun comic with Groot, but it had a lot of heart to it, and the art was really awesome. It was by Brian Kensinger, and he does a lot of work for Disney, so it was very Disney-esque, very like cartoony and fun, and it was just like if you were watching like a Groot animated movie or something from Disney. Like it was so
so
much fun.
that's exactly what I was gonna ask you. So is it like more of a younger audience type book?
Um, I don't think so because like Rocket, for example, is in here, so sometimes he'll say stuff that
More
wouldn't
grown up
necessarily be for
humor?
a kid, but I think it could be for a kid. Like if you're reading it to a younger kid and you kind of like censored over some of the stuff that Rocket said, I think it could be for a kid because, like I said, it was just a really lighthearted, just fun comic with just a lot of love with it. And I really, really enjoyed it. It was kind of like the whole story was that Groot and Rocket were going to go on a road trip and they were going to go to America and because they'd never been to America before apparently. So they were going on this long road trip and Rocket gets abducted by this like queen of space or something. So Groot has to track him down. And there's like 4 issues in the series where it's just Groot coming across other people and it was really good fun.
Now, Groot in the movie, he doesn't speak, or in the Guardians comics. So
Yeah.
here, does he have dialogue, or
Yeah,
how does
he just says I am Groot.
So
But
how do you know like what he means?
there are some people that he comes across who can actually understand him, kind of like Rocket. So like
Okay,
he'll say I am Groot and they kind of like make a response to it where you can kind of infer what he's saying.
you kind of get the gist of.
Yeah, you kind of get a gist of like what he's actually saying, but not exactly.
Oh,
And then there's some times where there's like really, really interesting and creative panel work where they have I am Groot in really big letters, and then inside the letters they have like kind of like what he's saying, and it's like portrayed with the art and stuff. So that was really, really cool. I really like that they did that in this series. But yeah, it was really, really fun. I really loved Groot.
would you
Um,
say that's a comic book like since it doesn't have dialogue and you gotta like use your imagination a little more?
Yeah. Um, yeah. Well, because it's just Groot that's saying I am Groot, but there are other characters that are talking like normal English and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah. And then going along with Groot, another one, Rocket Raccoon. Um, this was really fun. I love this. I think it went for 12 issues, and it came out before Groot came out, and then Groot came out. So yeah, it was really, really fun. Kind of Rocket dealing with learning where he's come from and kind of dealing with some of the stuff that he's dealt with his life, like kind of the dark stuff and everything. But it was really, really fun and humorous. Scotty Young was actually writing it, and he did a little bit of the art, but it was mostly it was a kind of a rotation of different artists. Like every story arc was a different artist.
Say
But
Scotty Young would be really good if he did the interiors on that raccoon book.
yeah,
I think his art would fit this character good.
yeah, and I think he did the art for like 2 or 3 issues out of the whole run, but it was mostly I think his name's John Billiou, and then there was someone else that came in as well. But the art was still really awesome. It was actually kind of remnant of Scotty Young's art, like pretty similar. I can show you an example, but yeah, I was really surprised by this book, and I know not a lot of people were picking it up because they're like, "Why would you pick up a Rocket Raccoon book?" But
Yeah, it's like it looks more like a kiddie book, but I think he seems like it would be real action heavy.
yeah, it was. Like here's a double spread page here with the art. It's really colorful. Um,
Oh yeah,
yeah. And so here he's like in the ring with like, or Groot's in the ring with like this like green monster thing. Um, so it's has a lot of humor and yeah, it's just kind of like a guns a blazing, hit 'em up kind of comic. Where you're just going in and wrecking the place. And it's the kind of same thing with Groot, where you would think it would be like a children's book, but because of Rocket Raccoon's language and
presence
some of the
and
stuff he says, it's not. I think it actually says on here like for mature audiences, but yeah, I
yeah, yeah. Because
really enjoyed those 2
some of
books.
Some of Rocket's comments or humor is definitely more adult.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So yeah, those 3 were really big surprises for me that I absolutely loved.
Now, before this year, did you read any Raccoon or Groot and other books?
No, I didn't. This was like the first thing. Well, I hadn't even heard of Guardians of the Galaxy when the movie was first announced because I wasn't really into comics at the time when the movie was announced.
Mhm.
So this is my first time reading their books, and I of course first heard of them with the movie and everything. But yeah, I really enjoyed them, and I would totally read more Guardians of the Galaxy with them in it. So
Yeah, yeah. I really enjoy Guardian. I haven't read their solo stuff, but I really enjoy that Bendis run. I
mm,
found it very entertaining. Like I like his dialogue he does with characters. Like I'm more when I follow books, I follow more characters. Like I'm more into them building a good character than I am. I want a good story, but even if the story's not great, but the characters entertain me and they're developed well,
yeah,
I'll still enjoy it. And I like the way Bendis develops characters. He gives everybody their own separate voice. Like just with the dialogue, you know who's speaking, even if you don't see who it is. Like
yeah,
everybody has their own style. I haven't read any of them in their own solo thing, so I wouldn't know how that would go. But I really enjoy all the characters there.
Yeah, I think the first two trades of the Rocket Raccoon book are out. So if you're interested in Rocket Raccoon, you can always pick up the trades. I think it was a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people would actually enjoy it if they give it a shot.
Yeah. I was thinking now, like, did you ever read the Star Lord?
No, I didn't. The newest one?
Yeah, he had like his own series that was tying into the Guardians Bendis run. That
Oh
just
no.
finished like when it finished like 2 months ago.
Mm. No, I didn't read it. I didn't even know it was a thing.
I think it was out around the same time as the raccoon. It started around the same time as the
Okay.
raccoon one, the Rocket Raccoon one.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
because
really, yeah,
I
that's
think the Rocket Raccoon one came out like soon after the movie came out or something like that.
yeah. It went like around like 10 issues, didn't it?
Uh,
Like where was that right now?
I think 12.
12.
Yeah, I think 12. I
Yeah. I
could be
think
wrong though, but I think it's 12.
yeah. 'Cause I think the Star Lord one. I think it went around 10 because I think it stopped when the whole Secret Wars thing started. That's
Mm.
where it was the last issue.
Oh yeah, yeah.
As far as I know, I'm not 100 on that. Not 100% on that.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed the Punisher. Like I've always kind of liked Punisher, but I mostly read him when he came in appearances on Spider-Man or X-Men, Wolverine, whatever. And I really started getting into his own. I started following like his own solo titles a lot. I started getting into that character because I read that Mother Russia, that trade. It's on that Garth Ennis run. I believe it's issues like 13 through 16,
Mm.
and I found it real enjoyable. Like that was probably one of my surprises that got me into the character. I was like, I always kind of liked them, but this was like, you know what? Now I'm buying a lot of his stuff and following more Punisher because this was like a crazy story. Like he's working with the government for some reason when he's usually against them. Like he doesn't
Yeah.
like following their rules. He's usually the guy they target, and here they need his help, and he's helping them out because of Nick Fury. And it turns out some of the Americans are of Middle Eastern descent, and they have connection with other Middle Eastern people. So some of them know people from Al Qaeda, even though they're working for our government, and they're
Mm.
talking with people from Al Qaeda, and they're like, yeah, playing it off like, yeah, we hate United States, even though they work for the United States government. And they send these guys to attack Russia, and that's how they're starting like a war with Russia, to sending these terrorists to do a terrorist attack on Russia, and they're flying on this plane. They hijacked the plane, very much like stuff that happened in real life here in the United States. So that was like it was a trip to me. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is like panels like something that really happened here, you know?
Yeah.
And but they throw a twist on it where they're not attacking the United States, they're attacking Russia, and Russia's like, yeah, Al Qaeda's against us, but really it was the United States that sent them. And some Russians are a little wise to that. They're like, we're having problems with United States. Why would they attack us? Like, it seems like United States sent them, and it tripped me out because I really enjoyed this story because it was like stuff that can. It's not far fetched. That we don't really know all the stuff that happens in the behind the scenes with countries and governments and all that. I was like, I could see something like this can someday happen
Yeah.
or other countries, maybe not necessarily with United States, so they could cover up and blame it on someone else. So that got me into Punisher. That was a real pleasant surprise for me. I think that book came out back in like 2004, somewhere around there. It's not new, but I read it for the first time recently.
Mm.
So I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you ever saw these rumors they were making like with the president when these attacks happened on 9/11. They're like, oh, his father knew he was friends with them, and all these
Yeah.
rumors they
Yeah.
spread. Like, I was just thinking of that when I was reading the book. I was like, this is like a lot of it's like they borrow a lot from rumors and stuff you heard in real life. But they're like, no, the reason they attacked is because they ended on bad terms and he owed them money, and I don't know all this craziness. One thing I never got about that is you know how when the Middle East they attack, and then when they attack, they started war with Iraq. There's like a completely different country. I was like, I never got that.
Yeah.
What did they have to do with what just happened?
Yeah. I don't know.
What about what book that were you like hyped for and you got it, you read it, and the big dud?
Disappointment.
Yeah.
uh, Probably. I think the one that had the biggest hype surrounding it was Spider-Gwen. And I read the first 3 issues of this, and I was not enthused with it. I like the art. I thought the art was fine, but I feel like the story wasn't there, and it just wasn't interesting. And I was really really disappointed in it. And I know like quite a few other people that dropped it as well after like 3 or 4 issues, just because it didn't feel like it was going anywhere. And I don't know. That was a pretty big disappointment for me.
Yeah, that's on my list
Uh,
of disappointments as well. I was
yeah,
excited for it too when I saw the costume I was like, wow, it looks badass. I want to follow Spider Gwen, and
yeah.
yeah, I didn't do it. It felt like nothing was happening. Like
Yeah, yeah. Um, Brendan said, "I hear Millie loves the lettering in Spider Gwen. Don't even get me started."
oh, I don't even like the yeah, I don't even like the bubbles on that.
I hated the lettering in Spider Gwen. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So, for those who don't know, the lettering, like the tails on these speech bubbles, they were like rounded instead of sharp. That bugged me to no end, and it probably didn't bug anybody else or most people at all. But oh god, yeah, I
Yeah, I wasn't a
uh,
fan of that either though. That it was just like a line across, like
yeah, it was weird. It was like it was unfinished or something. I don't know. Um, Brendan's getting me on a rampage.
oh,
Um,
tell Brendan if they're watching right now, Brendan and Tom Ray. I send them links on the Twitter in case they want to join. I
okay,
send them links I message them links on their Twitter.
okay. Um, and then the other one that was a really big disappointment for me that I was really looking forward to was Journey to Star Wars: The Force Awakens, Star Wars: Shattered Empire. This was a complete piece of crap. I Especially after watching the movie now, it just it barely ties in. Like there's some parts that are pretty cool. Like they showed some parts of like Leia having some form of the Force, and then they showed a little bit of the origins of like Poe Dameron, his parents, where they came from, and that kind of stuff. But besides that, it just I don't know. The art was inconsistent. They had a different artist like on different each issue, and then they would sometimes have like 2 or 3 artists on each issue. Like I think issue 2 had 3 different artists on it. Um, yeah, I don't know. It was weird, and Greg Rucka was writing it, so I don't know. It was a four
Yeah.
issue miniseries, but oh god, I
So that ties into the movie. Like, is it the same story or is it before or after? Like a
it's
prequel?
a prequel. It takes place right after what was episode 6? It was Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, and then or was Return of the Jedi episode 6? I can't even remember. It takes place right after episode 6. Basically, the
Okay.
first issue is like them partying after episode 6, and then it kind of deals with like there's still remnants of the Empire and that kind of stuff. But I just like nothing happened, and it was 4 issue miniseries, so I kind of wanted more to happen like on each issue, but it took until the last issue for something to actually happen. And yeah,
So would you say was it the actual story or more like the pacing of how everything unfolded?
I think both. I mean, I think the story wasn't there, and also the pacing was just it was weird. Like nothing happened until the last issue, but even then, nothing happened because the story was just terrible and it was crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Star Wars is. I might look to get some Star Wars trades. I don't know if I think the stuff Marvel's reprinting because next year they're reprinting a lot of Star Wars stuff, and I guess because the movie and so forth.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of the same stuff from Dark Horse. They're just making it under the Marvel with the Marvel logo now, but I think it's a lot of the same traits that they had in the Dark Horse omnibuses.
Mm,
So I'm probably
yeah.
pick up some of that too. So I kind of want to get to know more of that universe as well.
Yeah. Well, especially now, like the books that came out like between the original trilogy and like the prequels and even after the prequels and stuff, like those aren't canon anymore. It's all the comics now. So you have to read the comics to like get some more extended universe knowledge and stuff. But I'm actually reading the current ongoing Star Wars, and it's been pretty good. But the most recent issue tied into the event Vader Down, and I'm not reading anything else that Vader Down is tying into, so I'm completely lost. So it's kind of unfortunate, but
Well, Vader Down, is that in was that, is that like a Marvel storyline, or is it under Dark Horse?
it's Marvel. Yeah, it's going on right now with the Marvel
What's
comics.
the current okay, it's a current running
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. They have like the Vader Down, and I think it's like 2 or 3 issues, and then it ties into Darth Vader and Star Wars, and maybe no, I think it's just those 3. But yeah, I'm only reading the Star Wars main title, so I'm missing all this other story that's going on with this event. So it kind of sucks.
Yeah, yeah, I think Star Wars gonna start getting I know that they kind of have a lot of books going on, so they're kind of forming like a universe, like how X-Men had
Yeah.
X Force and X-Men and a bunch of titles, or Batman. So
Mhm.
they have like their own universe that doesn't tie into any other Marvel stuff
Yeah.
from what I know. So it looks like they're gonna do the same thing that they do with every big title. Give it 10 different titles and tie them in to get to buy all of them.
Yeah. That seems to be what Marvel always does.
Yeah. Anytime it's a big title, they're gonna give it 10 spin-offs to make you buy all
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, they have so many like different Star Wars books that are coming out, and it's crazy. Brendan said Millie has a worse berserker rage than Wolverine. We all know it. It's true. Get me started on the lettering on Spider-Gwen, and I'll
Yeah,
wreck the place.
almost hit mute there. You know, we might have kids watching. No.
Sorry, kids. Plug your ears. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to let's move on to movies or TV shows that were a surprise to you, or that you were anticipating when that you knew were coming out. Maybe you were not surprised it's coming out. You were anticipating it, and you were either surprised that it was better than you thought, or surprised you thought it was gonna be good and it wasn't. Did you have any of those experiences?
Um, I have a few movies that actually like weren't on my radar at all, and then I watched them and they were really, really good. And one of them was John Wick, which I believe came out actually last year, but I didn't watch it till this year. It's the Keanu Reeves movie where like this gang of Russian like mob kills his dog, and so he gets vengeance on them. And it's actually really, really good. It was a great action movie, and I really enjoyed it. And apparently they're gonna be making a sequel too, which I'm really hyped for now. So
Oh,
yeah,
Keanu Reeves, I'm one of those. He's one of those actors I'm not crazy about.
yeah. He was really good in this though. It was like he was really believable as this like hitman mobster kind of guy. It was really awesome.
Yeah, I like
So,
him in what is the one in the bus? Speed. I like that movie. That was pretty good.
mm,
I think it's called Speed or Outrun or something like that.
I don't know, but yeah,
Because I like Sandra Bullock, and I think she comes
mm,
out on that one.
yeah. And then another one that wasn't on my radar but was really good is The Man from Uncle, which is based off like the '60s TV show, and they remade it in like a movie that kind of takes place before the TV show, like a prequel. It had Henry Cavill, who plays Superman now, and Army Hammer, who I had never really heard of before, but apparently he's like this big star now. And it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like it's like these 2 guys, and they have to. Originally, they're fighting like in the beginning of the movie because Henry Cavill's character has to like save this girl from I think like the east side of Berlin or the west side or one of the sides of Berlin to get her over to the other side. And Army Hammer's character has to like stop them, but then they have to join forces and like save this girl and that kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed it. It was awesome. And I don't know if they're going to make a sequel though. They had works for it, but the movie didn't do that well in the theaters, so I'm kind of
Oh,
bummed. I know.
that sucks when that happens. That sometimes it's just marketing or timing. Sometimes a
Yeah.
movie comes out at the same time as a big blockbuster that it's not gonna compete with. And they're
Yeah.
like, why don't they wait till like after the summer, or so right now till around December to come out? And they
Yeah.
set themselves up for failure that way. Like I thought, Judge Dredd. I thought that was a real good movie.
Yeah.
Just the time it came out with all the summer blockbusters, it came out around the time of Batman, I believe, or the Batman 3 with Bane, I was like, it's not gonna be Batman, you know.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, I really enjoyed it. It's really like what Judge Dredd is, like a dark movie, like. And
Mm.
you'll never, how they said, you'll never see a sequel because it didn't make money.
Yeah. It's unfortunate when that happens, especially when the movie's really good, but it just doesn't do well. And I think The Man from U.N.C.L.E. came out the same month as the most recent Avengers, Age of Ultron.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I never heard of that movie. So it came out
yeah,
not like this year.
yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it did. So,
What
but
you think
I
of
really enjoyed it.
what you think of Age of Ultron?
I thought it was good. I thought it had some issues, but I enjoyed it overall. Um, I feel like they could have used Ultron a little bit better. I feel he was kind of like in the trailer, he seemed like he's gonna be this really, really like menacing, like
Oh,
badass
I
guy. But
love
in the
the trailer.
movie, yeah, but then in the movie, it was just kind of like,
Yeah, he was,
Okay.
he was that turned me off. Like, I liked the movie too. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
never found myself bored or anything. But Ultron was a big turn off to me because the main reason I got excited to see it, I rarely go like I might watch a movie here and there in the theater, but I really rarely get excited enough to go watch a movie the day it comes out, unless it's
yeah,
like Batman or X-Men.
yeah,
And I got excited with this trailer when I saw Ultron, and then I heard his voice. How you said he sounded like real wicked, and I was like, wow! I was like, I'm hyped now. I want to go watch it. And once I saw it, Ultron was like a completely different vibe than the one I got from the trailer. Like
yeah,
the trailer, he seemed dark and serious, and then when you saw it, he's kind of comedic and more lighthearted.
yeah,
I was like, it doesn't seem very like menacing or intimidating. Like,
yeah. And then the other thing I didn't really like about it was the random Black Widow and Hulk romance. I thought that was totally out of nowhere. I don't know where they got that from.
oh,
And
what do you think
yeah,
about all those people giving Josh Whedon a lot of hate? Like, a lot of people saying, "Oh, how could he write Black Widow like that?" And she wasn't like that in part one. But if you follow the
um,
comics, she's like that in the comics. Like, and a lot of stuff I read, she's kind of like seductive, I guess you could say.
yeah. I think a lot of people were upset at Joss Whedon because they didn't put Natasha with Clint Barton, Hawkeye, because a lot of people felt like in the first movie they were kind of having a thing, and then in Age of Ultron it was like they don't even know each other anymore, like they don't talk to
Yeah,
each other at all, and so
yeah.
I feel like a lot of people were upset about that.
I thought it was just the fact how she was portrayed. I was like, well, that's kind of how she's always been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get that either. The romance with Hulk. I never even knew they were together in the comics, or if they are or
I
not.
don't I don't think they ever were in the comics. I don't know what I honestly I don't know where they got that from, but yeah, that was one thing I didn't like. But I really enjoyed like the Vision. I thought the Vision was the best part of that movie. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in Civil War, Captain America Civil War.
I definitely want to see what they do with the Vision. How because
Yeah.
he only came out for a small like he wasn't like too in the movie that much. But
Hmm.
I enjoyed when I saw him. I kind of want to see what they do with him in the next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brennan I
Uh-huh.
was gonna say, Brendan said, "No, not that Star Wars book." Now I'm mad. So I'm not the only one who hated that Star Wars book. And he also says, "But does John Wick know kung fu?" Okay, I'll leave now. Is that a reference to the Matrix? I don't even know. I've never seen the Matrix.
Oh yeah, The Matrix was a good movie. When it came out,
Yeah,
it was like a thing. It was Star Wars is right now. That's what Matrix was when it came out. It was like a big
yeah. It's
thing.
on my list of things to watch, but I haven't yet,
It was
which is
pretty good.
terrible.
It was pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah, what I want to ask you one more question. I noticed this going on a lot in social media with Ultron when it came out. Like the day it came out, everybody saw it. Everybody was excited, tweeting how it was the greatest movie ever. And after watching like reviews on IGN, GameSpot, and all this other stuff on YouTube, they do their reviews. Then after like they were giving it a negative reviews, then everybody was retweeting now, and now no one likes it. Like, do you think
Yeah.
it can influence you to change your mind of something you initially like? Like,
Yeah. I think people nowadays are easily impressionable, especially with the internet. I mean, they'll go see a movie and they'll say, "Wow, I really, really enjoyed it," and then they'll read a review from someone like, for say, IGN or something, and in their mind they think like, "Oh yeah, IGN's really,
Like
like
they know what they're
professional and
talking.
it's a professional reviewer and stuff. So they kind of take some of the ideas from that review and put it into their own mind. And
Yeah,
then, maybe they don't like it anymore, or maybe they like it more or whatever.
yeah. You gotta
I feel like
remember,
that's kind of how it is.
yeah, because even though these are like big companies or whatever, you gotta remember that at the end of the day, the people working there, it's just an opinion. It's just
Hmm.
that certain person that wrote that article. It's
Yeah.
just that person's opinion, just like yours is just yours. So just because they say something, you don't have to like feed into it, like
Yeah.
because if you pay attention to everything they say, their job is to nitpick every little thing that was wrong with it. So when you watch it, if you didn't notice that, then you're gonna notice like anything if they keep pointing at it. Oh, look at that, you're gonna notice it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I
well,
think that's another part of it too, is kind of when you first see a movie, you're all about the hype and the excitement about actually seeing it and that kind of stuff. And then when you kind of sit down and think about it over the next few weeks, some things pop up and you're like, well, that actually didn't really make sense, or that didn't make sense. So over time, your opinion can kind of change about movies that you've seen.
yeah,
So I think that's also part of it.
yeah, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of movies that make a lot of money and everybody's excited. And 10 years later, once it's a no movie, it could have a completely different reputation. Like it could be known
Hmm.
as a movie that was no good. But at the
Yeah.
time it came out, everybody was talking about how great it was.
Yeah.
Like they don't all withstand the test of time.
Yeah. I feel like people are already kind of doing that with Jurassic World. I know when Jurassic World came out, it was like the biggest movie of the year, and people were really, really excited about it. And now I see a lot of people who don't really like it anymore. They say it's bad and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. But
yeah, that's another
um,
one I'm gonna bring up too. Because to me, just the fact that it came out was a big surprise to me. I didn't think they were gonna make another Jurassic Park movie because they did three. I liked all three of them. A lot of people didn't like part three. I did, and just hearing the news like, wow, there's a new movie coming out. That was one of my big surprises of this year. And once I
yeah,
watched it, I was not disappointed. I was stoked. I liked everything about it. And then
yeah,
it even had my boy Star Lord there. So that was even better. I was like, yeah, like this is an actor I'm feeling right now. I'm digging him since I saw Guardians of the Galaxy. Now he's gonna be in this.
mm,
And I liked it. And yeah, everybody was saying how great it was. And like 3 months later, everybody's talking about how it sucks. And I was
yeah,
like, wow, like how one person says it, and now everybody says it sucks now too. And I'm like, I still like it. I thought it was great.
yeah. I
It was,
really enjoyed it as well.
yeah, it was my favorite movie of this year. I mean, the story wasn't anything epic, but it was enjoyable, and
Yeah,
I was entertained through the whole thing.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
What do you think about that big dinosaur? They had one thing I didn't like that dinosaur when he was like, I thought they could have done some other cooler stuff with him. He was like he had like the mentality of a raptor, but a body of a T-Rex.
Mm,
I thought they could have done like cooler. They had a cool fight at the end. That was cool, but I thought they could
yeah,
have done all kinds of crazy stuff with him.
yeah.
How they did with the small velociraptors in the first movie.
I know. I'll admit, I've never seen the original Jurassic Park movie.
Oh my god, making me show my age here.
I have the first Jurassic Park movie on DVD. I bought it before I went to see Jurassic World, but I never saw it.
Oh, it's good. That's what started it off. Maybe you gotta
Yeah,
check that out.
yeah.
Definitely gotta check that out. It's well, I don't want to say nothing. Just watch it and judge for yourself. It's good. The other two movies don't necessarily connect. They don't intertwine. It's part one and this new one kind of connect. The
Mm,
two in between are kind of like their own thing.
yeah.
Yeah, the second one's kind of like a spin-off on the King Kong story.
Mm.
But yeah,
Brennan
it was
Brennan's commented again. He said, "I don't think I've seen a single movie all year."
good. No, I like that one. Yeah, that's my favorite movie of the year was Jurassic Park, and it was up
Yeah.
there as far as how much money it made. It did good too. I think
Yeah.
did it hit the billion.
Um, I'm not sure exactly how much it made, but actually, it might have hit 1 billion. But yeah, it was like the biggest movie of the year until Star Wars beat out its opening
Yeah, you got
weekend.
the opening. You think Star Wars will hit a billion, huh?
Oh yeah, it's already at 528 million, and it's been what 4 days since it came out.
They're gonna hit on. Yeah, always after the second week, things after the second weekend, things kind of slow down.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think
but
it'll easily hit over a billion as well.
yeah,
I haven't,
easily I think.
so you've seen the first other Star Wars movies, right?
I haven't seen the prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3, but I've seen the original trilogy.
Yeah, those three don't count anyways.
Yeah.
Those three they're no good. And, if you count those first three and this one, how would you rate it in comparison?
Um, Jeez. I think I think Empire Strikes Back is still like my number one favorite, but this one probably takes second place now that I've seen it and everything because it holds a lot of the same charm of the original trilogy, but it's new and it has new characters which are really interesting, but it also brings in some of the old cast and it was just I think it was a great action sci-fi movie. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic and I mean I've already seen it twice and I wanted to go see it again, so that shows how much I really loved it.
Yeah,
So
the
yeah.
last movie I did that way that I went to see it multiple times in the theater was Batman.
Oh
Batman
yeah.
Rises. I think the one with Bane. I saw that a few
Mm.
times in the theater, and like half the times I was watching it, I was like drinking there, and I wasn't the only one. Like when I get there, I'm like everybody's like, "Yeah, Batman, get his ass!" I'm like, "Whoa, I'm not the only one here."
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that one was good. It was good. Okay,
Yeah.
so those were the movies. That were like a surprise. Did I write something here? Okay, yeah, I'm going to you know what? Let me jump on sports real quick before we get to video games.
Okay.
'Cause I wanted to talk about it in case anybody that's watching. What do you guys think was a big surprise sports wise? Because Ronda Rousey, she got knocked out. They kicked her in the head, put her to sleep. She just lost to Holly Holmes. And before this fight, she was untouchable. Nobody could do anything to her. She was beating everybody in like 10 seconds. Like nobody bought a challenge. And everybody was talking about how they love Ronda Rousey and she's a badass and this and that. In this fight, she got beat to hell for like a whole round. And right away in the beginning of the second round, she was already tired, beat up. She just got kicked in the head, got knocked out. Right after she got knocked out, everybody on Twitter was uh, writing how they love that she got knocked out and how they hate her and how she's so full of herself. And I was like, wow, 30 minutes before the fight happened, everybody was tweeting how much they love her and she's the greatest ever. And as soon as she lost, everybody was talking shit about how much they hate her and how happy they were that this happened to her. I was like, wow. I go. A lot of people do not like Ronda Rousey, and they wanted to ask her about that, and she was ignoring those questions. They were like, how do you feel about how people really feel about you now that you lost? People real feelings about you came out all over Twitter, like you're not a popular person, and it was crazy. It was crazy, but I thought that was the biggest surprise sports-wise of the year for me and for a lot of people. Like this girl was untouchable before this fight, and nobody thought she would lose, especially not the way she did. She got not just lost, got dominated, got put to sleep. She didn't wake up for like an hour. Like so it was crazy. It was crazy. That would have to be my sports big surprise. Also, another one was a big disappointment was the Pacquiao Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched that fight.
that thing was so boring. What you think about it? The people you watched it with were they into it or?
Yeah, I watched it over at my brother's house with my family and some of his friends. And like it was this big thing, like we got a bunch of snacks and alcohol and drinks and
Every time you
everything.
go to a
And
fight, yeah, every time you get
yeah,
something, you're gonna get throw a little party going.
yeah, and we paid for it and everything. And it's just yeah. I mean, I wasn't really watching it. I was actually kind of reading my Silver Surfer books, but I was kind of looking up ever so often. But yeah, I know that was a big disappointment for a lot of people, especially people who like paid quite a bit of money for it or went to see it like live or anything.
Yeah, the regular pay-per-views are like $50, and I think this one was like 80. Like they
Mm.
charge like almost double for
Wow.
a 2 hour show or whatever. That's kind of expensive.
Wow.
That's why a lot of people usually when you order a bite, you're gonna throw a little party because you're like, I'm not gonna spend this money just to sit here and watch it. Like I'm gonna make a whole event out of it. Get my money's worth. Buy people. Look, I paid for the fight. You bring the beer. You bring some pizzas. Make a whole little thing going. And a lot of times the fights that are the great fights are the undercards, the fights before, because those are the guys that are not a name, but they're like, look, everybody's ordering this fight. If you put on a good show, you can make a name for yourself right now. So they're hungry. They put on good fights. And the main event, those guys usually the more boring fight out of the bunch. But these guys are already established fighters. They're like, I don't want to get hurt because I got another fight, in a few months. I gotta make more money, so they hold back, and the up and comers, they don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that fight was such a disappointment. So point ago, this is what we're waiting like 5-6 years for. It's like for this, for guys just dancing around the ring, pushing each other away like that. And it was the highest. It was the highest money making event ever. I don't know. I don't know how much it made, but it made a lot.
Wow. Jeez.
What about I was gonna ask you any TV show that surprised you or that you were excited for this year?
One TV show that really surprised me was Mr. Robot. I don't know if you saw it. I forget what channel it was on, but they actually showed the first episode on YouTube first, and you could watch it. Like I think it was like a few weeks before it aired on TV. So that was really awesome of them to do. And I watched the first episode, and it was really good. It was better than like most movies I've seen. It was just awesome, and yeah, it was like really great show. It had Rami Malek and oh god, what was the other guy's name? Christian Slater was in it, and yeah, it was just really good.
Yeah, he's a good actor. What is this about? Like it's like
it's about this guy named Elliot, who that's who Rami Malek plays, and he's kind of like this hacker, and he works for this company that he calls oh my god, what is it called? I think F Society or something. I forget what he calls it. And then he has to it's been a while since I've seen it, but he works with Kristen Slater's character and then like a bunch of other people that are also hackers, and they try to take down this big company and everything. And it was just really good. I really enjoyed it. So
what like comic related shows? What you think of Jessica Jones?
I really enjoyed Jessica Jones.
I love that show. I still need the last 2 episodes. I think for some reason I haven't got around. I guess I kind of want to save them because they're the last 2.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I watched up to episode 10 or 11. I really enjoyed it. It's like something completely different. If you watch it, you wouldn't even think if it didn't have the Marvel thing in the beginning that it's a Marvel show or a hero show. It's just like its own thing.
Yeah, it was kind of more like a crime noir kind of psychological kind of thriller. It was just really, really good.
I definitely put under that thriller category over like superhero sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way everything builds up so slow. Like it gets a story going little by little, and it's more just character development on Jessica Jones. It's just I like when they do that because I like stories like that where you just get sometimes even if like Seinfeld, where it's a show about nothing, it's just about the characters, get to know how they are and who they are. And that's kind of how Jessica Jones was. A lot of it was just about her. You see how she's just this regular girl. She drinks a lot. She kind of has issues and
yeah. And I like the way that they did the Purple Man, Zebediah Kilgrave and stuff, because he was just so menacing. But there were actually times where you were like, they were kind of forcing you to like empathize with him, and you're like, no, I can't empathize with this guy. He's terrible.
He's an asshole.
Yeah, he's terrible. And so I think they did that really, really well. You're almost empathizing with the main villain, who's just a terrible, terrible person. And I think they did that really well with Daredevil as well, with Kingpin, like making you really feel like he's in the right, basically, that he was doing what he should be doing.
Yeah, Kingpin. I loved. He was my favorite part about the Daredevil show was Kingpin.
Yeah.
Easily, it was that show. The main reason I kept watching it was because of Kingpin. And everything like it's forcing you to see things through his point of view. Like, what if you were in that situation? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, well, maybe it's not as bad as you think. It's just human nature. You're gonna do things based on your life experiences. You're gonna turn out a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I trip out on the Purple Man because Kingpin I didn't see as so much of a bad guy as just a regular person that's a product of his upbringing and his environment. So Purple Man is another thing. Like he was
just a terrible person.
Yeah, he was just
terrible.
And somebody referenced this and I forget what where I saw this at or where I heard it, but they made a valid point where they're like, he's the way he is, or he doesn't know that the stuff he does is bad or good. Like Jessica Jones has told him, you can't do this, you can't do that. He's like,
Yeah.
we're gonna save the world. He wants to kill somebody. They're like, no, you don't kill him. Like, why not? Like, isn't that saving the world? Like, he doesn't know right from wrong. And
Yeah.
somebody pointed out that they're like, well, he has the power to tell for people to think whatever he wants them to think. So he's never had somebody where everything he's done has always been right, because just by
Yeah.
him thinking it, the persons agree with him.
Yeah.
So he's never known the difference because he's always been around a bunch of yes men. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so he wouldn't know the difference. And I could see how if you have that power, you never learn right from wrong because you're around everybody telling you everything you do is right.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, well, how would he know? How would he know what's right and what's wrong if the whole world around him, wherever he goes, the whole world around him is telling him everything he does is right. He's never been exposed to anything that isn't right. You know, like
Mhm.
in his mind or whatever. Like, if that makes sense, I don't know if I'm explaining it
Yeah,
right.
no, it makes perfect sense. That's how they showed it. It's just, yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was a trip. So like, and one
Yeah.
day, you know what? Don't tell me because I didn't see the
No, I
last.
won't spoil anything because I know
Yeah,
there's also people watching that haven't seen it.
I was about to ask you something about that, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even asking. I haven't found out myself. I don't think they've answered this question I was gonna ask. But yeah, but it was really entertaining. Like Jessica and Kilgrave were both developed real well, and even
Mhm.
a lot of the time the story not a lot going on, but those two characters are getting developed real well.
Yeah. I think they also did a really great job of developing all the other characters too, like Trish Walker
Yeah,
and her
like
two neighbors, Jessica's two neighbors, I thought had really excellent character development. And Luke Cage was done really well as well. I just thought the whole show, the cast and the writing and everything about it was just really fantastic.
yeah, it was real good. I had the omnibus of the they collect the whole series
Mm.
on my wish list for like a year already.
Yeah.
There's a character before the show came out. I didn't even know there was gonna be a show. It always piqued my interest because I like the Marvel Max lineup, and I saw
Yeah.
the omnibus said Marvel Max, and I was like, yeah, I like the Max lineup. It's a little bit more gritty, like more my type of thing. So I had it there forever. Then when I heard about the show, you think it do the opposite. It made me want to buy the book, but it kind of did the opposite effect. It made me be like, ah, now I kind of don't want to spend money on it because I feel like I could find out the story through the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The book's really good. I've read the first trade and it was really good. It's different from the story in the show, so you wouldn't get so spoiled, but yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I heard a lot of things they couldn't do because like Captain America and stuff like that, they come out on the comic. Obviously, those characters can't make appearances on the show. Like they have
Yeah.
to add it, so they have to change some stuff around.
Yeah.
And how you said, so people that read it will still be introduced to something new. Like you don't wanna get on the same exact story as the comic because then they know why watch. You know, they know everything that's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. So I got some more comments to read. Brendan said, Millie is lucky Google Plus won't allow me on. Haven't seen the first Jurassic Park. Tisk tisk. I know. I need to see it.
That's
Yeah.
good. So Google, yeah, the damn thing. How they changed all the settings around. Like I couldn't even know how to start it at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause I sent them the link. So it doesn't let them log on.
Yeah, I don't know. Google Plus has been weird ever since they updated it and changed it around. Thomas Griffith said, "Can you shout Luke out, please?" Hi, Luke. Shout out to Luke. And then Jean Paulus Peter said, "Is there a link to join?"
Oh yeah, send them. Let me try to send them a link if I can.
Can you see him
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
chat?
I was trying to. I saw his message yesterday. I was gonna bring him up too. I barely saw it last night when I was trying to go on the Google Hangout. He sent me a message, and I barely saw it yesterday. It was from like last week. Let me see if I could send them. Do you have a? No, well, let me send them a message here. I'm gonna send you an invite through YouTube right now.
And then kind of going along with like the Netflix shows and stuff. I don't know if you saw Sense8. It was a Netflix show, a Netflix original show that was really, really good. It was about
Oh
like
yeah,
these. Did you see it?
I sent you an invite already, John. I seen it on my Netflix, but I haven't watched it.
It's the first like 3 episodes is pretty slow. Like it's kind of developing the situation and stuff and the characters, but then it really hits its stride at like episode 4 or 5, and it's really awesome. It's about these 8 people from all around the world, and they're intertwined, and they can like I forget what they call it exactly, but they can like meet up in their minds. So like there's this one scene where a guy is like singing karaoke at a bar, and then he turns to his left and the girl is standing there singing karaoke with him as well, but she's still back like in India and he's in Russia. It's just like their minds, they're connected, so nobody else can see her standing there singing karaoke with him, but he can. So hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Well, we have Darth Vader. Sound like Darth Vader there.
Oh shit, whoops, I forgot.
There you go.
Yeah, I think you changed the settings or something.
Yeah, I was messing around with my nieces on Skype.
All right. Hey, I see people put Skype and they intertwine it with YouTube. Like when you do a YouTube video, you could talk to Skype also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that because you know how there's competition, Microsoft and Google.
Yeah, they keep changing everything so fast, so it's hard to keep up with it, I find.
Yeah. They keep changing stuff like every 6 months.
If you look on Google Plus now, they've just introduced something to incorporate your gaming. So it's going to be a whole Twitch type thing.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're getting down to the top picks of 2015 video games, comics, and so forth. What were we saying, Millie?
No, I was just saying like Sense8 is just it's a really good show and I recommend it. But like the first 3 or 4 episodes are pretty slow, so stick with it until like episode 4 and then it gets really good.
Yeah, I heard Sarah was talking about it and she was raving about it too, saying it was really good.
Yeah.
I've seen it there on my Netflix thing. I just haven't got around to watching it. I think
Yeah.
I might have it on my wish list already.
Nice.
Have you guys seen the show called Residue?
Residue.
No.
Okay, Residue is a UK show, and it just came out 2015, and it stars one of the guys from the UK show called Misfits. Have you ever watched Misfits?
Yeah, I've heard of it, yeah.
Okay, it's the same guy from Game of Thrones. I forget his actual name, but he's from Game of Thrones. He's a sadistic guy who, what is his name? Kid? Yeah, well, he's not the little kid. He's one of the Ironborns. Okay, we're gonna go past that because I can't think of it right now. But yeah, anyway, Residue. It's a really good show. It's sci-fi, but it reminds me of a lot of Jessica Jones. And I don't think it's comic book based, but it really could work as a comic book. It's really good.
Okay, I have to check that out. You say they have it on Netflix?
Yeah, Residue's on Netflix. Yeah, they got the first full season up, and they're signed on to do a second season now. So,
awesome.
Really good show.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I love Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is good. I haven't seen the 4th season. I ended on season 3 because I got my cable cut off. We won't get into that, but but Game of Thrones was real good. I was digging it. And then they had the actor from Lord of the Rings on the 1st season. That's what really drew me in.
Yeah, Sean Bean.
Yeah, but obviously since he's like more of a movie actor, he just signed on for 1 year for 1 season.
Sean Bean's such a badass actor too. He's awesome. A little while ago, he was at a bar with his girlfriend, and somebody had said something to him, and he got stabbed with a beer bottle. He went outside to finish his cigarette before he went back inside to kick the 2 dudes' ass. And I was just like, whoa, that's intense, man.
Talking about in the show or in real life? Let me get some water.
So you guys are talking about what, video games, comics, and TV shows / movies type thing?
Yep.
Yeah, right now about they happened and that we watched in 2015 for the first time.
Okay.
Yeah. A show that I watched that came out like back in the 70s. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but Mork and Mindy.
Oh yeah.
Robin Williams. I watched
the first. Suspenders.
Yeah, I watched the 1st season of it and I really enjoyed it. So I'm getting ready to watch the 2nd season.
Yeah, Robin Williams was he was a good comedian. And not just he was a good actor. He could play other roles.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really sad to see his passing and everything, and that's when I started watching it, and Oh
Yeah,
God, it's really funny. It's good. I really enjoyed the first season.
I hear that
Robin-
it might have had something to do with the show getting canceled. That because he was already going through this deep depression, and when he started on the show, that's kind of what used to distract him. You know, while he's at work, it distracts him from his thinking about his problem. And once the show got canceled, he had a lot of free time to just sit around and do overall like the stuff he didn't like going on in his life. So that made it worse. Like once the show got canceled, the depression just got worse.
You know, if you're a Robin Williams fan, in my favorite film of his is 1 Hour Photo. Have you ever seen that? It's so dark. It's so dark, and he's so good. And it really, for me, removed him out of that idea that he's just a clown. He's just a comedian. No.
I liked Insomnia. Was it Insomnia with Al Pacino and Robin Williams? That one was real good.
I think Dead Poet Society was the one that did it for me, because that movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
Actually, the one I was talking about is kind of like a psychological thriller too, kind of like a little bit like Jessica Jones. They're totally different story, but that same type of genre.
Yeah. So I got a comment from someone called That Guy the Dude. He said, "Hello, fellow sperm cells." Hello to you, fellow sperm cell.
we made it. We made it.
Made it out. We made it out there. We were the successful ones.
We won the game. We won the game. First place. Well, I'm a twin, so what does that mean? I don't know. Tied for first, I think.
Hey, what do you guys think of I also want to get also another surprises of this year, video game wise. If you guys follow the video game awards, what do you guys? I don't know if you guys heard about this. The Metal Gear Solid 5, the Phantom thing. Now the creator from that game, the Phantom thing, won an award for best action game, and he wasn't allowed to go up there and receive his award because they fired him.
Yeah, I think that's a huge. I heard about that too. I don't follow video games too much. I am still stuck playing Skyrim for like 3 years now, but yeah, I heard about that, and I thought that was a huge slap into the face of you know, and not acknowledging one of the creators of the game, an amazing franchise like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
He's been creating that game since like 1989, so he's been working on that game for like 20-something years. It's like the 7th one or 8th one they made of that. Or 5, but they also made 2 Nintendo ones.
But we're the ones who attach this you know, kind of family feeling to it. I mean, it really is. It's a business. It's a business, but it is pretty cold. That's pretty cold.
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima. Yeah, it's like it sucks that alright, you want to fire him. You know, maybe things happen. You want to part ways. That's fine, but why not let him get his award and show up and whatever? You know, like that was like it was clearly they ended on bad terms. That they didn't even want to see him there. Yeah, that was kind of like a big surprise, and everybody there, you could clearly see on the awards, the guys announcing the awards were siding with him. They were like, you know, he's not allowed to come get his award because the company, Konami, and, you know, they were really like putting it out there like, yes, people boo this company.
Yeah, I mean, Konami's a powerhouse, so, I mean, they're not in the business of making friends. They're in the business of making money, and, you know.
But that game, Metal Gear was the last franchise they had. They were still selling. They were still doing good in sales wise. So I don't know what they're gonna do without them. Other games are flopping. That they're not doing that well anymore.
Yeah.
So I think they said that once this guy left, Sony already signed him. He barely got fired last week. Sony already signed him to like a big deal, to this big contract, make games for us. You know, like he's a talent, so it wasn't gonna be hard for him to get a new job. And I heard that once he left, a lot of people want to come work for him to see whatever new thing he's going to build. Like, a lot of people from Konami are like, can we come build this new franchise you're going to work on with Sony? And they're all leaving Konami to work with him. So,
well, it'll be interesting to see what you know, somebody with a chip on their shoulder can do a lot of things. So it'll be interesting to see how he comes out on top.
Yeah, he's a talented guy, so I kind of want to see when you video game he creates, what's he going to work with. And I want to also see what happens with Metal Gear when someone else takes over.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be very important. Are they gonna know what they're doing, or are they just gonna copy the same thing?
I've been playing a lot of video games this year. Like I said, other than picking up a game of Civilization or Skyrim, well, I've been playing a lot of board games lately. So that's where I've been to lately. Me and my family have been playing board games. And this one in particular is amazing for any comic book fan. It's called Legendary Villains,
Yeah,
and
Oh, wow.
it's a game by Upper Deck. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I can't even get into it. I'm going to do a playthrough someday, but it's amazing. And you can play solitaire, you can play by yourself, or you can play with up to 6 people.
so it's a card game, or it's a. You said it was a board game, but is it like with cards or with
Yeah, it's a board game, but it's all card turn-based game type thing. And basically, you're in this version here, you're playing as the villains, and you have to take down the heroes. And yeah, but it's still you get a mat or a board to play on, and it's really cool. A lot of games are substituting that hard cardboard board for these play mats now, and they're so awesome. They're really nice.
That's an idea. Using both, it's the same thing. It has a picture on there, and it seems like it's easier to travel with and stuff with that mat instead of the cardboard.
Yeah, and it just feels nicer too when you're playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been playing a lot of board games lately, and that one, King of Tokyo, Settlers of Catan is always popular. But
the game I like to play a lot of board games is Yahtzee.
Yahtzee's good, yeah.
Yeah, Yahtzee's very, especially when you have like 4 or 5 people playing. It's kind of like cards. You gotta make the full house, the 3 in a row,
Yeah, absolutely.
Dice, except it's with dice, but it's the same thing.
I like playing Cards Against Humanity.
Oh, that's it's so hard to get a good game of that going because I've got a 12-year-old daughter, and I'm all like, "Can't she play?" No.
Yeah, you can listen to some of the stuff that goes on there.
Yeah, the last time I played it with my family, like my mom and my dad and my uncle and my brother and sister-in-law and all of them. So that was pretty interesting to see my mom say some of the cards that are on there. But I love that game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Great party game.
What about it? Are there any video games you hear that are coming out next year that you're excited for? That you're like, oh, now I definitely want to get that, or?
I don't know. I haven't even really looked to see. The only news that I know about games that are coming out is Psychonauts 2, because someone that I follow is really into Psychonauts, and they're making a second one. Yeah.
Psychonauts is something I totally forgot, so you brought it up. That's something I'm excited for. I never got to play part 1. I think I played the demo only, and I always wanted to. So now that I know there's gonna be one for the new consoles, I definitely want to check that out because I hear a lot of good things about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, the first one is supposed to be like one of the best games ever made. Apparently.
Yeah.
So.
When it came out, I was like in high school, I think, and I was real stoked about it. I was like, yeah, I want to check that game out, and I never got around to playing it. And
yeah.
Now that I hear a new one's coming out, it's like that's something I want to check out.
Yeah, I think it's actually going through like Kickstarter or some website similar to Kickstarter where they're crowdfunding it. So.
Yeah, I think they're crowdfunding it right now. Yeah, I remember this. Adam Schafer announced it on the Video Game Awards.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the only game I know that's coming out soon. I haven't even played any of the games from this year. I just got Fallout 4 like 3 days ago, and I haven't even played it yet.
Fallout already? I haven't got that. I just got like this month I got the Witcher 3. I didn't play. I haven't even finished loading it. I turned it off when it was like halfway loading. But yeah, I have to that's when I want to play one game of the year. I got that one, Witcher 3, and I got the Batman. I haven't got around to playing that either. The Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah.
That's part 3 of that game. Was Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and one that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I haven't played those yet either. I've been playing on a Pinball Arcade on the Xbox or PlayStation, but it's you can play all the classic pinball games, and the physics of it all is pretty accurate, and it's really fun. I love pinball. In Newfoundland, we have 0 tables because we have 0 mechanics here for them. I mean, people have home versions and stuff, their own copies or their own tables, but we have nowhere to go play, so having access to that is pretty nice, all these classic tables.
Hmm.
Yeah, pinball's pretty cool. I played some of the demos on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And that one's definitely a cool thing too. But to me, pinball's like I like the actual tables, like to see all the lights and everything go off.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome. Yeah, the one I'm excited to see next year is Quantum Break because I hear it's gonna be like a show and the game is gonna intertwine with the show somehow. Like part whatever happens in the show is gonna affect the way you play the video game. Like after each episode. I don't
Quantum
know.
Leap?
Yeah, Quantum Break.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's kind of like Quantum Leap where you're gonna be phasing back and forth through time and slowing time down and all that. But I hear that there's gonna be an episode every week. They're gonna do like a Netflix type thing, which they're gonna do their own show on Xbox. And every time there's a show, whatever happens on that episode, it's gonna somehow change your gameplay on your story for that week or whatever until the next episode. So I'm kind of curious to see how they're gonna do that.
That's really interesting concept.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I was like, you know what? That's what I'm excited from. Like, I kind of want to see what's gonna happen here with it. Like how just to see how it affects it, how the show affects your gameplay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you guys a question. In the upcoming year, we've got a couple of new TV shows coming up. Do you see Marvel, and I'm going to talk about Marvel more than DC, but do you see Marvel dropping the ball anytime soon? And if you had to speculate on a title or on a show that they'd probably drop the ball on, is there anyone that you guys have in mind?
Okay, so which is the first show you think is gonna flop? Like
Yeah.
Constantine did? I think that's a good question because since they're doing most of the shows through Netflix, they have all the creative control. Like, so it's how you said, it's really up to them to screw it up. When you're working with another company, a big network like Shield and all that, working with ABC and all that, it's not just up to you because they're gonna put their ideas in there and maybe they could screw it up for you. So I think as long as they have all the creative control, they know their characters better than anyone else is gonna know them. So I think more than them dropping the ball, it's gonna be one of those things where people just get tired of seeing hero shows.
Well, one of my buddies, he's not big in like he enjoys hearing me talk about it and stuff and getting excited about it, but it always gets to a point towards the end of the night where he's like, all right, man, that's enough, that's enough. He's really fed up with how flooded the market is right now. Every time he turns on a show or somebody, it used to be recommend a show and be, oh my God, have you seen Sopranos? Oh man, have you seen The Wire? Oh man, you know. And other than Game of Thrones, which I think everybody on the planet can agree that it's one of the best shows ever made, but you know, Flash, Green Arrow, iZombie, and then you have this all this Netflix stuff coming out, and then movies being forced down your throat. You know, to step outside us being comic book fans and comic culture, I mean, you have to admit that it is really overwhelming. It is the dominant theme in movies and stuff.
It's one of those things where, like, the movies, I don't think they're going anywhere. It's a new genre now. How you have your horror genre, your action, whatever. You're gonna have superhero genre from now, or comedy genre. That's not going anywhere. But the shows on TV, I noticed TV is like a fad. It always goes through phases.
Yeah.
And now they're going through a phase where everybody wants to make superhero shows, but the superhero shows are gonna die out and stuff before the movies do. I don't think the movies will, but the shows will. The shows, people are gonna want, change of pace. They're gonna want comedy. They're gonna want other stuff. I see it. It goes in spans of like 8-9 years. Like the 80s was a lot of action shows with agents constantly, stuff like that. The 90s was a lot of comedy, Friends, Seinfeld, Murder with Children, Simpsons. Then now the 2000s was like reality TV, a lot of reality TV. That died out and took its course. And right now this decade is a lot of superhero stuff. So I think like by 2020, 2022, it's gonna die out and fizzle out.
Million J, are you guys looking forward to the new Preacher show coming out?
I am, just because I like the comic and I'm hoping it's as good enough as the comic. But from the trailer didn't excite me at all. I mean, it was also just a teaser trailer, so I hope that we'll see more of the show before it releases. But I'm optimistic about it. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I didn't. The trailer didn't wow me either. Did it? If anything, it made me want to watch it less. Like,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also too, with the possibility of everything seemingly to be able to get made into a TV show or movie, Millie and Jay, what would you like to see? Personally, you have full control. You want to see done. Millie's new show coming out is going to be what?
I would actually love to see a lady killer show. I think that'd be really awesome, like a woman hit woman from like the 60s or 50s. I think that would be really awesome.
yeah, that would be a good concept there. That's
Yeah.
one thing you brought up right now. It's interesting. You were talking about what comic book type show. I think that's definitely something I see it happening now already, where they're doing more comic book related shows, but that are not necessarily superhero
Right.
related.
Hmm.
And I think that's good because that way it's still comic book related, but it's different genres,
Yeah.
so you don't overflood it with too much superhero stuff.
Yeah, like I
Well,
know I'm really excited for the Outcast show that's coming on one of the premium networks. I think that looks really awesome. The trailer just there's scenes of the trailer that were taken right out of the comic book, and I think the tone of it looks really good, and I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah.
I would like to see, how Why the Last Man has not been made yet is beyond me. Fables is another one that they really need to do.
They
Well,
had they had the Once Upon a Time. It's
well,
not like it's like in the same setting as Fables, but the stories are different.
well, it's funny you say that because they were gonna make a Fables TV show, but I think they couldn't work it out because of the mature theme, so they changed it into Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, because I had the
So,
trade.
unfortunately, I don't think a Fable show will happen as long as Once Upon a Time's running. And it
Right.
seems like that show's doing really well. Like audiences really like it and stuff. So
It is, and I've. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, Once Upon a Time is I have the trade, and on the trade on the back of the Fables trade it says Once Upon a Time, like turned
Mm.
into it says something like now on TV as Once Upon a Time or something like
Okay.
that. So it's basically Fables. They just change it around.
yeah,
Right. I've watched Once Upon a Time, and my daughter likes it, and my wife, but I don't. I can't get into
yeah,
it.
The tone it's just that it's in that set in that universe, but the tone is definitely different,
hmm
not the same.
yeah,
I really enjoyed the books though. I just read the first two trades.
yeah.
And
And
also,
I just recently finished reading Why the Last Man. I read it digitally and it was fantastic. And I would be nervous about making a TV show just because I feel like it would need to be on a premium network because of some of the like the nudity and sex scenes and that kind of stuff. Just to keep it kind of very true to the comic. I mean, they could pull it off on cable, but I just feel like it'd be better on premium network.
Yeah, if
But
HBO could get their hands on it, that would be amazing.
yeah, yeah. But it was a fantastic comic book series. I could see it as a TV show definitely, but I would be worried about it if it was on cable.
That was one book that I've given to my mother. She enjoyed reading it. I gave it to my brother, who's not a big reader. He loved it. I mean, everyone I recommend that book to, they enjoy it, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's so amazing!" And
Mhm.
I just really think that it'll be so popular if they done it right and had the right channel, like you said, they did it on the right station. It wouldn't work on ABC or
No,
NBC,
no.
but it could work on HBO or AMC maybe. Or
hmm
yeah, I also like that. Yeah, how you guys were saying about that you're bringing up a lot of those like indie comics. I think that's good that there's so much out there that's not superhero related. That helps like more people get into reading because a lot of people when they think comics they think superheroes. At least like I did, and now I see there's like so much other like stuff to read that's not superhero related.
Well, there's one that was announced to do a show as well. Mark Miller's Jupiter Legacy has been recently tossed around, and I would love to see that done because while it's a superhero comic, it really like the show Heroes, they take it more on the human personality traits and things like that, and that's what they're talking about. And then they introduce the whole superhero aspect of it. I think that would work really well. Last year or a while ago, I had heard about Peter Panzerfaust. That
Oh
was
yeah.
supposed to be.
That
That would have been really good too.
Peter Panzerfaust.
Yeah, that would work really well as well. Or Saga.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, Saga would work really well, but it'd be really ambitious.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And it would have to be on a premium network. There's no way it could be on cable.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what, like money wise or?
Just no,
Content.
the content.
Oh,
Yeah, the content definitely. Um, it, and they will just do it better. Having all like no red tape. That's what you need with a book like or a show book like Saga. You need you need free reign.
Hmm.
so never like HBO. HBO's they put out good stuff.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
HBO's always been known to you can get on there and curse all you want. I mean,
That's
Louis
the show all
C.K.
community, bad words, like no topic, no nothing's off limits. They're like whatever you think is gonna make the show better.
Yeah, well, Louis C.K. Did one of his first shows. He's after talking many times about the first pilot shows that he had back in the day, and this was like early '90s. One of the episodes revolved around what if Mary, Mother Mary, had had an abortion and aborted Jesus, and they ran the show. That show would never run anywhere else, but it ran on HBO.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, and no, he was like somebody's going to say something. Nobody said anything. It just ran.
especially when it comes to like stuff that has to do with religion.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of networks don't really wanna deal with that stuff. They're like, nah, it's not, it's either these people are gonna get pissed off or these people, and it's better to avoid it. But some people they're like really into that.
So as far as comic books go, is there one title in particular, Jay or Millie, that you're excited for this year coming up, either from one of the big three?
I actually wrote down a bunch of titles that I'm really excited about. So I was looking at solicits, and from Marvel, Silver Surfer is coming back after Secret Wars. It comes out in January, and I'm really excited about that because I'm reading it in trade, and I really enjoy the first two trades that come out. And the third trade comes out, I think, a week before the new series starts up. So I'm really looking forward to getting caught up on it and getting the new series. It's going to be the same creative team, Dan Slott and Mike Allred, who are doing the series, or now or prior to Secret Wars, whatever you want to say.
So
And
that story gonna continue from since it's the same creative team. Does the story just keep going from what you were reading?
I think so, yeah, because it seems like a lot of or most of the titles that are going on right now, like Miss Marvel and Spider-Woman and Thor and stuff, they're all pretty much taking place like 8 months after the old title ended before Secret Wars. Like, it's pretty much the same storyline, just like 8 months ahead. So I think it'll be that kind of same thing. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And then the Swamp Thing mini from DC, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, Swanton's getting a miniseries.
Hmm.
What happened? Why did his book get canceled? Was it just not selling? The Scott Snyder one?
I don't know. I wasn't reading Swamp Thing before. I've never read any Swamp Thing. The first thing I read of him was the most recent issue of Constantine the Hellblazer, where he was kind of like a guest star in it. So yeah, that's why I'm really looking forward to this new series because I can read something of his. So.
What about you, John Paul? You know if it got canceled just because it sales wise or?
I don't know. I don't know too much about DC since New 52 started, but Swamp Thing #1 was one I had to pick up. I've always loved Swamp Thing. I liked it, and the Snyder is really good. But I still think that Swamp Thing needs to get darker. And so someone like Jeff Lemire I think would write on that amazingly.
Like I read some Rick Remender, his stuff's pretty dark too, like real depressing stuff. Like
Yeah, and I think that's something that DC should really tap into more. Again, this is coming from me. I don't read a whole lot of DC, but I would love DC to be darker, and I think I would actually jump ship from modern Marvel onto DC if they just got even more darker, or if anybody actually knows of any darker titles and they want to put it in the comments and I could check it out. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really read any DC either.
Yeah,
Like,
I read very little DC.
I want to get more into DC though. This year coming up, I'm gonna start getting some DC stuff because I mainly the stuff I like from Marvel. I kind of already have it. I'm almost done with it because I first start like with the collecting aspect, then I start reading it. Once I get everything, because sometimes I buy it out of order, So I want to read it in order, like from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So like I'm looking to get into more of DC stuff.
Jay, is there one comic type thing that you're looking to get in 2016? A statue, a big golden age comic? Is there something that you got your eyes on and you were getting this year?
I had my eyes on something, but I'm having second thoughts. I don't think I'm buying it anymore. There was this big Lady Death statue. I had been thinking about it for like 6 months. I was like, should I get it? Should I not? It's a sideshow statue.
Right.
It's awesome.
They make beautiful statues.
Yeah, it's I have no statues, but this would have been my first. But it's like $250. I seen it on eBay, and I keep going back and forth because I'm like, I want it, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of expensive. Like,
statues are definitely a luxury item. I mean, that's luxury there. You know, to be like, you know what?
Yeah, I'm like, I could get myself a tablet or a new TV or something, you know?
Something more practical, you know, rather than just something beautiful. How about you, Millie? Was there something in your sights for 2016? I see you got a lot of pop, model figures and trades, and I don't know if you collect back issues and things like that. Is there something that you're like, I'm getting this year? Millie is getting this from Millie.
I have a few things in my sights. I actually got one very big goal item that I got this year, which was Daredevil #7 from the original series, his first red suit appearance. I mean, that was a big thing on my list, and
very nice.
I got it, and yeah, that was awesome. But I mean, if I along the statue thing, if I could get a Daredevil statue, that would be really awesome. I was looking at like a Bucky Barnes Captain America statue, but those are really expensive on like the third-party markets and stuff. Like I was looking on Amazon, it was like $500 for a statue.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, if you want a nice one, they're expensive. There's some out there for like $100, but like
if I've learned it, I was gonna say if I've learned anything from watching these guys who collect statues too, is that it's really addictive. So my warning to both you guys is be very careful. Because the next thing you know, I'm like, hey, Jay, what books did you pick up this week? None. I bought 7 statues. What am I doing?
Yeah, like I seen that. I've been doing like a lot of looking online and stuff for the statues, and I noticed though they do have some for like $100, $80, but in my opinion, like I wouldn't waste $80 on one of those statues. If I'm gonna spend money, I'd rather spend a little more, but get something of good quality.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be looking at it all, and then you're gonna say, "Why did I buy this?" If when you're not satisfied with it. Then I was talking me this because Tom buys a lot of statues.
Yeah.
And he told me, he's like, "No, look at this one." He goes, "It sucks. It's plastic, and you know it's real light, and it's like an action figure. And this one's good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't wanna spend $80 on something and feel like I bought a $10 action figure. You know, like."
Yeah.
I don't want it to feel the same as I want it to be made of what is it, polystone? Like I don't want it to be made of plastic. I want it to be heavy. I want it to have weight to it, and I want to feel like a statue.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I'm like, one thing, they're expensive. If I ever did get one, I couldn't get more than one because I know I would still need to find someone where I could showplace it or so I could show it off, and it would be only like enough room for one.
Yeah,
I was going to say, if I was going to move on to something else, I was going to ask you guys, see how we're making that transition from 2015 to 2016. Something that, you would like to see changed in your comic books, just in general. For me, for example, would be the price. I mean, the price of books are way too much. I mean, what is something you'd like to see changed between now and 2016, a new year?
The price jump fire. It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna change the prices of the books.
One thing I want to see that I think they could definitely do is I want Marvel to get better paper for their books. I think, especially the cover paper, it's the same paper that's used on the interiors, and I think it's terrible. I mean, you hold a book and you got fingerprints all over the cover, and it's so annoying.
It's just so impossible. You go down and pick up, look at some new books that are coming out, and every single one, you got the fuzz on the corners because it's such a light quality paper. Now, I don't know if any of you guys read Simpson comics, like or anything from Bongo.
No.
Bongo do it right. Next time you're at the shop, check out a Bongo comic. They have this high gloss with a waxy coating, real firm covers. Their paper quality, it reminds me of Baxter paper back in the day. It's a comic book. You can feel it. And they're like $1 cheaper than any Marvel or DC book coming out. So it's not a cost issue.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you if you ever read Enormous.
Enormous? No, I've never read that.
It's made by 215E, and I follow that series in single issues. And the quality on that comic, the cover is big like a trade would be, like the cover of the trades would be, and it's $3.99. It's so much thicker than the Marvel book, and the cover and the pages are so much thicker, and it has more pages, and it's the same price. And it's a smaller company that doesn't make as much money.
Yeah.
You know, so if they can do it, like you said, obviously the bigger companies, like the more money they make, the cheaper and cheaper they make their cheaper the quality.
Yeah.
Right. If talk about Marvel, if it is a cost issue, I would ask them to take out the whole the little digital square thing that they have inside.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not just because I don't read digital, because like Millie, you said you read a lot of digital, yeah?
Yeah, sometimes. Like if I read like the Why Last Man. I read it on an app where I actually got to read it for free because my library was associated with the app, so I got to read it for free. So I do that sometimes, but I don't buy issues digitally, or I don't use the codes that are in the comic at all. So yeah.
And do DC do that? Does anybody know if they're going to also jump on that idea, or do they do it themselves?
I don't think they do the digital codes or anything. I think it's just Marvel that does it. And then Marvel also has their Marvel Unlimited, which I'm subscribed to. I use that sometimes. And I think DC's thinking about doing something like that too. I'm not sure, but yeah.
I'm going to start jumping on some digital. I was against digital at first, but like I'm looking at my stuff and I'm like, I want to finish certain things that I want to actually collect and own physically. Then other stuff I'm just going to start buying digitally, so I just read it and not take up space in my room right here. And also because I was looking at some stuff online on Comixology and Marvel Online and all that. There's like omnibuses and stuff they're selling for like $5 digitally. I'm like, wow, instead of paying $100 for the physical copy,
yeah,
I could buy it digitally for like $5. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do that. Like,
well, the problem I have with digital is not. I love the idea. I can go anywhere and I don't have to be overly concerned with damaging my books or anything. But it's because of that. I don't have anything tangible in my hands other than the tablet, which I already paid for.
Mm-hmm.
So that always makes me a little weary.
That's one thing. So part of reading books is this reading books. Then part of it is collecting. Like you want to actually collect it and like own it.
Yeah.
And it's not the same thing. That's why I'm like, there's certain titles I'm not collect that I want to collect. There's other titles I just want to read. So I can buy them online.
Yeah.
So I'm
also,
learning to make the differences between what is it I'm really into and I want to collect, and what is it I just want to read a story and I'm probably never touch again.
Yeah.
Digitally.
Also, the nice thing about digital too, and like the Marvel Unlimited where you can read stuff for free, you just pay like $10 a month, and my Hoopla app where I get it for free through my library, I can read stuff, and then if I like it, I can go back and collect either the single issues or the trades or whatever, and actually have a physical copy. So it's kind of nice to be able to try out things, and then if I really like it, go back and buy it. Because I know I'm doing that for like X Factor, and then I read Why the Last Man, and I'm really looking to either get that in trade or single issues or something. So that's something I like to do as well.
Okay. Yeah, that is a good way to just kind of test the waters. Let's see if you like it first before you go spend money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Like at first I started getting just I was more into the collecting aspect. I didn't read a lot of stuff like that, but I'll look for like rare trades and rare hardcovers that are out of print and stuff. So I always buying like expensive books. Because I like having books that nobody else has. I'm like, yeah, nobody has this one is real rare or whatever, So yeah, once you start when you're like, what, I want to get into the stories, I want to read them and find out more about the characters, you have to distinguish yourself from, you don't always need the most expensive format of that story or whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes just buy that.
I bought this year actually Ultimate Galactus Trilogy on hardcover. And I don't normally buy trades or anything like this, but I really love the Ultimates, and I was late to read that, and I started reading Ultimates and then Ultimates 1 or Ultimates 2, and now I started reading this, and it's amazing. I love it, and I feel a lot more relaxed when I'm reading the trade. Like I said,
Yeah.
I get so kind of when I'm reading a single issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. You feel like, oh, I don't want to damage it. This is worth $80, and you know, I
Right.
used to do that with too. Cause I'll buy my book, and I'm like, damn, I just spent like $40 on this one. And I don't want to mess it up. And yeah, with the trade, I'll toss it, whatever. It's not a big deal. And that's when I started kind of like how you said, like yeah, you feel more relaxed, and you kind of start differentiating or however you say it.
Mm.
Because like before, I wouldn't buy the reprint. I'm like, nah, I need the original copy, the first print or whatever. And you started learning like, do I really need to spend extra money when it's gonna be the same story? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
how to save money and make whatever choice, better choices.
So we got quite a few comments. V8 Supercar 1 said Mockingbird when we were talking about titles that'll be coming out. Mockingbird is a title that's going to be coming out. I know there's also Patsy Walker Hellcat and like Iron Man Power Fist, or Power Man Iron Fist. I know those titles are coming out too that I'm pretty excited about. And then they also said, I'm not sure. Oh, that's something else. Higher quality ink that doesn't have me fingerprint up their comics. Fingerprinting your comics is such a major problem in this day and age for some reason. And yeah, it is. I don't know if it's because just the paper has changed since the olden days or what. But and then Kevin's comic said, hey, and then Millie without the E. Hey, Kevin.
Kevin's awesome. If anybody who's watching or watches this, go subscribe to Kevin's comics. His channel's amazing. It's so fun. I love that dude. He's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I was gonna touch on the quality of the book. I noticed when companies get bigger, not just book companies, but any company in general, the bigger the company gets, the worse product they give you because they're just going by their name now. They're like, well, we're a big company, they're gonna buy it anyways. So this, in other words, like also they didn't get big by spending money. They got big and made money by being cheap and giving you like an inferior quality. When I go to McDonald's, I see that you buy a hamburger special with fries. It's like $9. You get a little burger and a little thing of fries. Then I go to my local hamburger spot here, get a big burger for like $4, and then a cup of soda, and it tastes 10 times better. Like the bigger they get, the less they want to give you.
Millie, Kevin said that you're going to get to E for Christmas, okay?
Oh, I look forward to it.
So, Jay, what is your highlights of 2015 in comics? What was something that stood out for you that was like, I could go back and read that again. That was really good. It was worthwhile.
Yeah, that's what I was telling Millie earlier about. To me was Punisher. Like I always knew about him. I kind of liked him. He was okay. But after reading that Mother Russia by Garfine, the Punisher Max run, it made me really start getting into collecting Punisher. Like I started buying a bunch of hardcovers and collecting all his single issues, and I became like that's a character I wasn't as into this time last year as I am right now.
Do you have much of his back issue stuff?
Yeah, I have like almost a complete run of the 1988, I think it is, or I think it's from the Jim Lee, the one that started with Jim Lee art.
The War Journal.
That whole run.
Yeah.
And I have all his Marvel Max stuff. His Marvel Max run.
Right.
Those are the only two runs I have with his. And the Marvel Knights. I have all the Marvel Knights now too. The one
I enjoy the Marvel Knights. Going back to that Marvel Knights myself is I'm really enjoying it. The Black Panther stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, I have for Marvel Knights. I just have Daredevil and Punisher, but I haven't read the Daredevil. But yeah, I really like Punisher. One I really got into. I was really big in that. I didn't necessarily read too much on before maybe 8 months ago.
Right. How about you, Millie? What's a highlight for Millie for 2015 in comics?
Definitely my top one, probably for the whole year, is 8. The number 8, HT from Dark Horse. I have it right here. Raphael Albuquerque and Mike Johnson. It's a 5-issue miniseries about kind of like time travel, and there's this place called the Meld. And I was talking to Jay earlier. The coloring in this is really awesome because for each time period they use a different color as the background, and then everything else is like this kind of like bluish black kind of thing. So you can tell what time period they're in based on the coloring. And I thought that was just a really awesome concept, and the art was awesome. You know, Raphael Albuquerque art, and then the story was really good, and it was really enjoyable. And I've gone back to reread it quite a few times already. It's really enjoyable. That was probably my #1 for this year. And then also Lady Killer, I thought was fantastic. That's supposed to be coming back. It was supposed to come back in like November, I think, but they keep delaying it, and it's not even in solicit, so I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be another. I think it was like another 5-issue miniseries, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And
miniseries.
yeah, and I'm not sure what's going on with it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's Joelle Jones, the artist. I don't know if she's like behind on schedule or something, and so I don't know. And then something that just came out or started coming out recently, but it's so good, is The Paybacks, also from Dark Horse. I love this series. It's so good. It's like these superheroes who have borrowed money from this team called like the Paybacks and stuff, and when they can't pay their bills on time, they actually go back and repossess all their stuff, and then the superheroes have to work for the Paybacks and go and repossess other people's stuff. And it's just really interesting. There's this whole front storyline with the team, you know, going back and repossessing stuff, and then there's like a thing where all the people that are in the Paybacks are dying off, and they're trying to figure out what's going on, and it's really interesting. The humor is awesome. There's so many references to pop culture and like other comic series. Like there's a bunch of Watchmen references and Doctor Who and just really cool stuff. So I'm really digging that book, and it's an ongoing as far as I know. As long as it keeps selling well, it should continue to be an ongoing. But it's just awesome. I'm totally digging it.
Yeah, that's a book I wanna pick up for sure. Is The Payback.
Yeah, you could probably get it in trade. I mean, it's on.
If it is, I'm getting that. I'm gonna order it on my next order.
No, I don't think it's out yet, but it should be out soon because issue 4 of the Paybacks comes out this Wednesday. So, I think the story arc might end at like 5 or 6. So the trade should be coming out soon since it's an indie title, and they usually come out pretty quickly after the arc ends.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna get for sure. Cause I wanna get like this year. I wanna try to get more into. I wanna collect a few Dark Horse. It doesn't even have to be current stuff, but like just whatever catches my eyes.
Yeah.
I want some Dark Horse, some IDW, some Valiant. Like I wanna, cause most of my stuff is Marvel, so I wanna kind of get into other publishers. Kind of to see what I was like. Man, I'm kind of biased. I got here Marvel, but I wanna get some other stuff. So then I could like. Once I read other stuff, I could compare to see what I like more and so forth. Instead of just assuming, no, Marvel's better, I'm not doing it. Like, at least give it a shot.
Yeah.
For me, in 2015, I mean, I loved this Sabrina title. Did anybody read this?
I've been hearing some great things about it, but I have not read it.
It's so good. The art, it's so fun, and that's really what 2015 comics for me were this year. Was fun. I was on Sabrina. I was on this title called Munchkin, which is based on the board game.
Oh, yeah.
Munchkin was really fun. It just took itself. It was so light. Bob's Burgers, Rick and Morty, a lot of really fun shows based on animation. That's really where I was focusing more on because I'm a sucker for event books, and after reading Axis from Marvel and Trinity from DC, I just like, and I couldn't get into doing the Secret Wars because I didn't have a cajillion dollars to spend on every connecting book, to follow. But then I was like, you know what? I need to step back from comics, from being all kind of serious, and I need this, and start picking up something more light and just have fun with it again. And I found 2015 was a really good year to do that. It was a really great year to get in and just enjoy the fun of comics, some goofy stuff, So it was really cool.
That's a book also I've been having on my list to get to was that one, Sabrina.
Yeah, it's so good. The art is so dark. The artist Hack, he was. I heard that he was going to step away, and issue 5 has been like slow to come out, but it's going to be coming out this early 2016. all these issues are all sold out now. They're starting to become difficult to pick up, but you can still find them for cover price at your shops and stuff. And I highly recommend it. And there's a couple different variants for each issue that come out. And again, they're cover price. They don't get gouged or nothing, but they're all homages to horror films and stuff. So
yeah.
it was really cool. This one here, issue 3, had this real Art Nouveau style.
Oh, wow.
And it was just really beautiful, and the art inside really corresponded with that. And I mean, in issue 1, because I missed the boat on the Afterlife of Archie, and it kind of, I was like, damn it. But when I opened up this cover and I saw a Betty and Veronica, the witches, trying to do stuff, and then they kind of get all rotted looking and stuff, I was just like, this is amazing. I'm so hooked on this. It has that real 70s, 60s, 70s feel to all of it, and just this grittiness, you know. So I really enjoyed that.
The cover with the house reminds me of Psycho. Remember on the movie Psycho, they always showed that house?
Yeah.
And you just see the shadow through the window.
Yeah.
Well, the cool thing about it is that this is a die-cut cover. Yeah, so it's a die-cut cover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. The art in it is just fantastic. Yeah, and it's really dark too. It's definitely not. I was like, okay, I'm gonna let my 12-year-old daughter read it, and maybe not. You know, while it's really fun horror, it's still pretty dark. So
yeah.
But the colors in it are gorgeous. Very it makes you feel like you're reading an old Twilight Zone movie or a Twilight Zone episode or something. It's really interesting. And I think Sabrina is definitely underrated by a lot of, because that's exactly what Marvel and DC kind of want you to do. They want you to spend, well, I gotta get that, and I gotta get that, and I gotta get that, and then a lot of these other titles, they suffer for it, you know. But there's really good titles out there, so.
Yeah. That's why I was saying I want to get into different publishers, because I know there's a lot of other stuff out there that's probably better. So you can tend to migrate to those two, because there's a big two companies there. Those are the first books you see when you walk in the store.
Yeah.
Well, IDW are killing it. IDW have an excellent roster of artists and writers with them, and I find that they can also be, creative starting from scratch. But they've also got this real database that they can tap into with Ghostbusters, Star Trek, and Transformers, and all this stuff. G.I. Joe. So
I know there's the IDW has a lot of licensed property.
Yeah.
Yeah, I collect the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff.
There you go, right? So that's a huge one. So and they've been doing it right. So they've been doing it really well, and that's the problem that a lot of people don't dabble in the franchise business, because you have too much expectations to live up to. I think, so as a fan of Turtles, if somebody makes the Turtles and you're like, what the hell is this? You'll buy one comic and step away from it completely.
Yeah, since they're established franchises that were owned by other publishers or companies, do they have to give them a percentage, or how does that work?
I don't know. I say that ultimately it would have to go back. So Turtles would have to go back to Eastman and Laird. I don't think it would have to go through Archie Comics, where they had a franchise, or where they were publishing.
Yeah, because when Archie Comics was publishing it, it was originally Mirage, so they were just licensing it as well, like how IDW is.
Now, Image had Turtles for a bit, and that was a really cool title. That was really dark. Yeah.
I didn't even know they were with Image, but I might have to go check those back issues out.
Yeah, that would have been in 1998. 98. They started with that, and probably right into 2000, 2001. And it's really good black and white comics inside, and it's really trying to be reminiscent of the Mirage stuff. Yeah, that they started out with. So
I love the art on that old Mirage, the first issues.
Yeah.
One of the few things I really enjoy in black and white more than in color is the old Eastman art.
Yeah. Well, I pick up a lot of magazines. I pick up a lot of heavy metal magazines, eerie and creepy and stuff like that. And that's mainly why it's void of the color, so the art isn't. The art is exactly how it should be. It's really raw looking, and I really like that. So I mainly read and collect comics really for the art more than the story. But I find myself getting more and more pulled in by the writers that are out there, and I'm talking to a couple of my buddies, you know, Sleepy Reader and Howler Mouse and stuff, and I'm really trying to learn from those guys. Like, where should I start if I want good stories, you know? So
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
2000.
I started too was mainly because like you said, the art. What grabbed me was like, oh, does this character look cool? Does he have a cool costume, or does he look interesting? And then from there, you read it and see if you like it or not.
Yeah. Speaking of IDW, another series that was really a highlight for me was The Infinite Loop, which was a 6-issue miniseries by Pierrette Collinet and Elsa Charretier, which is about like this girl who travels through time fixing these anomalies that these like time terrorists create, and she falls in love with this girl who's actually an anomaly, and she has to like fix all these things and save her and stuff, and it was really good, and the art was fantastic, and yeah, IDW was totally hitting the mark with this book.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that.
I feel like IDW is actually kind of slipping into the place where Image was, and you know, my pull list for modern books isn't big, so I don't have a whole lot to base it on, but I do follow everything. I try and keep up with everything, and I don't mind spoilers. I'm like, you guys could literally, we could go off this air now, and you could tell me what happened in Star Wars. It wouldn't bother me. I mean, I'm going to watch it anyway. Or same thing with books. I'm going to read it anyways if it's good based on what you say. So I really see IDW slipping in to where Image is doing. I find Image is getting a little. You know, I can't say that. I can't say that. I can't say that Image is getting a little weary or anything like that because they're still killing it. I mean, they're still putting out big sellers and stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, they got a lot of titles right now. Image, a lot of stuff.
but Witches was an amazing Snyder book. You know, I was talking about like how that Swamp Thing needed to be darker, but Witches, another great book this year was Postal. Postal's another great title.
I've been hearing great things about that. I want to pick it up and trade.
Yeah, I hear a lot of stuff about Postal too. I think it came out. The trade came out this Wednesday, this last Wednesday.
Did it?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't even know. I'll have to get it.
I think I saw it there. I'm not sure because I kind of remember seeing Postal there.
Mm.
Yeah, I have to check that out. Also, one that caught my attention was this a trade just came out of Batman, with a Mike Mignola art, and he's dressed in this like old school, like this old detective uniform. It's not really a bat costume. He just has the Batman mask, but it's like a button shirt or something. I don't know, it looked weird, but I noticed there was the Mignola art.
Huh.
I forgot the name. I think the Phantom it was called, but it was a Batman title. To check that out.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, like are you guys read any Valiant? Are you guys familiar with the Valiant universe?
Yeah, I think I read the 4-issue mini Divinity. I believe that came out from Valiant, didn't it? Where it kind of brought like Ninjak and a bunch of other like Valiant characters together to fight this like kind of godlike being that came to be in the first issue of Divinity, and I really enjoyed it. It made me interested in all the other Valiant titles and stuff. So
I read a piece of that Death Note one, and I kind of want to start following some Valiant characters.
yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read any Valiant since back in the day when Jim Shooter started that up. It was a big deal, and a lot of people were really hoping that it would be like McFarlane walking off with Image for creating Image, and Jim Shooter, you know, he's a legend, and I remember picking up Harbinger, and I enjoyed it, but then there was Dinosaurs and Cadillacs, which just like no, you know, there was a lot of stuff that was just no. He didn't have the proper roster. And when it came back, when Valiant really came back and started putting out books, I mean, was it this year or last year? I'm not sure. I was really surprised. I'm like, really? People like Valiant?
Yeah, they did a relaunch like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where other characters came back and like they started from number 1 again.
Mm-hmm.
And so
From what I gathered, though, they're two different entities. They're two very, very different things. I mean, they're using the mythos of the old Valiant from the 90s, but the writing and the art, it's completely different. So, yeah.
I haven't read either, but I do want to start on some of that just to check it out, get a feel for it, because I really like I read that issue I read from Death Note was pretty cool, and I really like that character Ninja. So I was like, wow, well, this is like my thing. Like ninjas and samurais and all that.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, well, I'm gonna try to check some of that stuff out, some Valiant. Now I was watching a video where yeah, Valiant, Dark Horse, and Image all came out at the same time. Like before that, there was really no other companies besides Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
And then now those came out like around 92, 93.
The most recent or Dark Horse, I mean, I remember getting back in the day, I was picking up Alien versus Predator and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
but the Umbrella Academy from Dark Horse, that was really cool. Gerard Way, I like
Yeah.
that. But I don't, Dark Horse I always considered like its own version of like Vertigo, DC's Vertigo titles.
Mm.
They were darker and they took more chances and stuff like that. And yeah, I always got a lot of respect for Dark Horse, and it's still being around and still holding their own.
Yeah, they do. It was kind of more like horror stuff I used to see before. Now they have a lot of different titles.
V8 Supercar 1 said Black Panther movie, can't wait. We were talking about
Or the
Black
movie.
Panther, Marvel Knights. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
well, I'm a longtime fan of Black Panther. I would love to see a really quality, good movie of Black Panther.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're printing a bunch of like trade paperback omnibuses of Black Panther.
Yeah. They're reprinting so much stuff that the movie's coming out. I mean, I saw solicits for the next 3 months, and just they're reprinting every single Civil War title like crazy. So, yeah, I'm excited for Black Panther and the Civil War movie that's coming out in May, I think. Excited to see what he's like and everything. So, and then for his own movie as well, be exciting.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll go like another 10 minutes, so we could stop it like at 2 hours. Then we could keep conversating after like offline.
Okay.
So the video won't be like longer than 2 hours.
My Black Panther first appearance and my first issue Jack Kirby.
Oh, you got the expensive one there.
Yeah, I bought one for my wife as well last Christmas. So this Christmas I don't know how I'm going to step it up, but I don't know what I got planned this year. I'm going to trick her and give her, I don't know.
Yeah, one book I wanted to get was Raphael #1. It was the first appearance of Casey Jones. I love that cover. It looks wicked. And then I like the color palette, how it's just red. It's just black and red.
Yeah, that was a sleeper book for sure for me. Like I remember seeing a lot of people like picking it up because they're Turtle fans, but just kind of ignoring that. Like, well, everybody wants the first Ninja Turtles, but Casey Jones is awesome. I mean, and now a lot of people are pretty glad that they picked up as many copies as they did because it's kind of quite expensive now.
It was like a $30-$40 book before. Now I've seen it going for like $80-$90.
Yeah, it's too much.
For like twice the price.
Yeah.
I should have got that.
For me this year, I'm going to focus heavily on getting more back issues and stuff. I'm going to finally try and get some of the more Jack Kirby Silver Age books that I wanted, and yeah, I'm really going to try and I'll still do what I'm doing with the fun books. I hear that they have an Archer. I don't know if anybody knows the TV show Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think.
Archer comic?
Yeah, they got an Archer comic coming out this year, so I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, I like the cartoon. That's like my type of cartoons, like that.
There's a new TV show called F for Family with Bill Burr, the comedian Bill Burr, and they've got a comic book coming out for that as well. This year is again, I'm going to do exactly what I did last year, which is focus on just fun comics, man. I'm going to try and get all the Simpson books. I'm going to try and get all the Futurama comics back issues. I'm going to, just try and get all those fun books that I don't have, And anything that comes out, I'll just wait till it comes out on trade and pick up the trades.
Yeah. That's what I do. Most of my books I get is a lot of back issues. I don't get too much current stuff because, like I told you, mostly I get is Marvel, and I tried a lot of new current Marvel, and I'm like, it's kind of a lot of the same stuff I've read before, so I'd rather just keep continuing with the old back issues that are basically a lot of the same stories anyways.
Yeah. Well, I find prices now, speculative prices on comics have been just going through the roof, and it's really hurting people who want to collect and really don't want to turn around and spend $100 for somebody because they're in a TV show. It don't make sense. It doesn't. If that character has a good base and has been known for being part of quality stories and stuff like that, absolutely makes sense. But I remember that Black Panther or Luke Cage, first appearance of Luke Cage in a high grade, forever you could get one for 120. The first Thanos, you could have got that up to 2005. You could have got that 2006. You could have got that book for $40, $50.
Yeah, I think they were like $30 book, and then you come down in a movie now. Now Thanos was a lame character. Like people didn't give a shit about him, to tell the truth. And then after the movie, all of a sudden, before when he was announced to come out on the Guardians of the Galaxy, it's everybody's favorite character. And everybody wants to pay $200 for that book. And I'm like, man, like nobody liked that character. Like they didn't say he was lame, but he was nobody's favorite character. Like,
well, to be honest, I was a big fan of him because I was a big fan of Starlin work. So, and like I said, I followed the art, and I remember seeing Thanos, and I've always loved that kind of. It's almost like a Jack Kirby homage, the way that the face looks. It really reminds me of a Kirby work. And so Darkseid, I was always a fan of Darkseid, and I remember I bought this for $20 in 2006, and now I could sell it for, I don't know, whatever I wanted to, but yeah, I'm glad I got it, and I wish, of new collectors, with all these new collectors that are coming in now, I wish that they'd have that opportunity to be able to get it at.
You got it before it was popular. That's why you got it for a cheap price, because you were a fan of him before it became like a popular thing on TV. For me though, Thanos was always like a cheap knockoff of Darkseid.
Well, yeah, no, definitely. There's.
I was always a Darkseid guy, like.
Yeah, especially when you look at we'll just pop it out. When you look at the original artwork of it all, he really does look a lot like Darkseid. There we go. Right, I mean, you heavily see the similarities there. Yeah,
Yeah, because I remember when that Infinity Gauntlet came out, people used to bash on it that there was they didn't like it, the story. They're like, oh, it's a cheap crossover, or they're just tying in all the books together, and nobody liked the story. And now I bet you after the movie, everybody's gonna say how that comic was great, how it was a great story.
Yeah, everybody's praising it now. For me,
the damn cheap whenever it's the main what do you call them? When they do a big story arc with other stories cross over together. A big event. Yeah, like people usually don't like those. They always say they're no good. And I remember that was one of them when that one came out. I know that was like a big push for Thanos.
Yeah. We got a comment from Moneymakers that said, "Hi, hello, Moneymakers."
Hi.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah.
I could, yeah.
Hey, we already have about 2 hours right now, so I want to thank everybody for watching. We'll probably cut it short here. If you guys want to, we'll continue right now offline. But so the video won't run too long, and load quicker and everything. And we'll see you guys maybe like in 2 weeks after the New Year's, and see what we've been up to then. So all right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys.
Okay.
Bye.